Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our first Scoutcast of the 2020 Weiser football season here with Scouts head coach Al Moyer. Coach, glad to be back here, glad to get back in the swing of things. Certainly a season like none other that we have before us here, going in here to week number 1 against Fleetwood. But, Coach, you want to outline kind of where we came from here the last couple weeks, some of the different safety procedures and different things that we've put in place as a program to be able to be as safe both on the field and off the field as possible.
Sure, Ryan. I tell you, it's been a roller coaster. Obviously, we got back in the school, shortly after July started, and immediately started with different protocols and safety features that we had to do to try to keep these programs going. Weight room activities, restricted to the amounts of kids in the actual weight room. Kids and coaches wearing protective masks at all times in the weight room. From that point on, finally got into heat week, and again out in the field. If you ever come to any of our practices, all coaches are masked up. Kids, as long as they have the helmets on, do not have to wear masks. We got spray stations with disinfectant on the field, spraying balls, spraying pads, bags that we've used. We have a sanitizing station right at our water. All kids bring their own water bottles. So things have been different, but again, it's the things we all had to do and continue to have to do to make sure that we can ensure the safety of all of our kids, our players, and entire student body, and continue on with this season.
Thanks, Coach. Looking at the schedule, obviously it's usually a 10-game schedule that has been shaved down now considerably. Obviously some different opponents on the schedule than originally anticipated, but again, what are your thoughts now looking at the scope of things? Obviously it's week by week at a time here, but your scope of looking at the schedule and how things have changed moving forward here in 2020.
Yeah, we had to drop the non-leagues. Obviously, week 1 would have been a great test with Cocalico. Unfortunately, didn't get a chance to play that. A couple other non-leagues with Elko. Again, another new opponent. One later on in the season with New Oxford that unfortunately we can't do. But we were able to pick up and where those games. We were really only scheduled then down to about 5 games, but we were able to pick up some games with Daniel Boone and Muhlenberg due to Reading High not playing. So got on board real quick, and we're happy to pick up those teams to fulfill a 7-game schedule for us.
Thoughts on the scrimmages past Saturday? Wyomissing being another opponent that was on the schedule. Obviously a big Week 10 showdown. Not going to happen with the playoffs being adjusted and them getting off the schedule, but that opened up the door to scrimmage Wyomissing. Looking at some of the on-field, acumens here, this last weekend on the Saturday scrimmage, how'd the team look? Thoughts on the scrimmage and what we got going into Week 1?
Yeah, we were able to luckily pick up Wyomissing, without obviously being able to play them Week 10 of our schedule now. We did pick them up, so it was a great scrimmage, long friendship and history with Coach Wolfram and his staff. Had a great scrimmage with them. Really old school, pull up the bus, get off, put the helmet and shoulder pads on, and start hitting. Again, Wyomissing being ranked preseason number 2 in the state was certainly a challenge for us. Our philosophy behind scrimmages is we don't really go to win scrimmages. We want to see our kids fly around. We want to see our kids be physical, and we certainly got that out of it. We were pleased with the way our kids competed, and I said it was a real good test for having a scrimmage with a team of that caliber. So coming off the field Saturday, we didn't scrimmage long, but we scrimmaged hard for the plays that we did, and we were somewhat pleased.
Moving in here, week number 1, tension turns to Fleetwood, going out to Fleetwood this Friday night, the season opener. Thoughts on this game and what you're going to be looking for offensively and defensively and on special teams, and moving in here to Week 1 against, everybody's kind of a little unbattle tested right now, but moving in here to Week 1 against a team that we faced twice here last season.
Yeah, again, Ryan, it is tough. I mean, people are untested, and looking at the maturity, how quickly our line is going to mature. We got a lot of untested running backs who haven't seen a lot of varsity action. So, going to be a big game. Fleetwood returns some quality kids. They're big up front on both sides of the ball. One Maddox, retires and moves on to graduation, replaced by another one, and he's he's good. He can scramble. He's got a strong arm. He's a very heady ball player. So you got to contend with him on every play. He extends plays with his legs. Looking at the scrimmage that they had with Daniel Boone. So we have a tough test Friday night, and I hope our kids are going to be up for it. And preparing for it, again, do what we do best. Play some good, solid, tough Weiser football, and we'll show up Friday night.
And your final thoughts here. How's it going to be, obviously, with no spectators in the stands, having nobody really out there, very limited people in the stands? How's that going to be with the atmosphere and different, and how you're going to approach that, not only from a coaching perspective, but also with the players? Because, feeding off of that energy that's usually there with the band and the cheerleaders and the crowd. How's that going to be different Friday night?
It's certainly going to be different for everybody, Ryan. It's tough. I feel real sad about that for so many of these kids and their families. It's obviously we're getting a chance to play, and that's the most important thing. But I do feel very, very bad for these families. You grow up watching your kids and supporting your kids through thick and thin, all the way through youth ball and up into junior high and JV ball. And here you are, some of these kids are senior year, and parents aren't even getting a chance to watch them play live in the stands. So it is a tough thing, but I think again the decision is out there to ensure the safety of everybody involved and continue to be able to progress down our season. So I feel bad for it. Hopefully we're working out ways to live stream the games, but it's just not going to be the same. At home, at least we get our band and cheerleaders here. I always say it's an important part of a Friday night atmosphere and the Friday night lights for our kids. But we'll get through it just like we have everything else, and I think it shouldn't be any problem getting these kids excited to play some ball.
All right, thanks, Coach. And again, here the first episode of Scoutcast 2020, previewing the Weiser football season. We're going to be here each week, Coach, talking to Coach Al Moyer and breaking down each week's opponent here. So, Coach, we'll see you next week here on the Scoutcast.
Thanks, Ryan.